Cool. So I think it's recording now. So so let's start, right? So hi everyone, my name is Tuan, and I'm here with Ed Venegas, and he's one of our career specialists at CP, and he's here to talk to you about how to build your resume and make it better for our next career fair.
Awesome. Thank you, Tuan. Thank you. And hi, Ashley. Me and Ashley have been going back and forth with lots of emails, getting this all set up. And so I'm glad to be here. I'm excited. And so I'm going to be sharing a PowerPoint, and I will have the chat up. So if there's any questions or any comments, you can put them in the chat, and then I will reply to them. I'll talk about them. I'll do that. And then if you do, you can also unmute yourself and ask the question too. But I know that students tend to find the chat to be more useful, okay? And so, yeah, so hello, Ed. Hi, Ashley. So yeah, I got the chat up. So let me get this resume going here. So here is our PowerPoint. So, all right. So how many of you, well, if you all have your resume with you, like if it's, you can access it on your computer, I would ask you to go ahead and either have it up on your computer as I'm going through this PowerPoint, or you can, or if it's printed out, have it out, because you can make some edits to it while I'm going through this, okay? Nice. All right, or make some notes on it as well. So my name is Ed Venegas. I'm the career specialist with the Cal Poly Pomona Career Center. I am also the liaison to the College of Science. So that means that I work specifically with all the majors inside the College of Science. And I love working with computer science majors. You guys are lots of fun to work with. There's lots of opportunities. And the things that you guys are learning is just so interesting, especially when I'm doing the resumes with you guys. I also like working with the math majors, the physics majors, and the bio students, mainly because there are a lot of students in bio want to go into pre-professional careers like medicine. So that's always fun too. All right, and so let's get started here. So our first slide. So a resume is a summary of your skills and qualifications that you have to offer to the employer, okay? So it's gonna be a summary of skills. So it's not gonna be everything that you've ever done in your whole life, okay? It's gonna be a summary of things that you've done that relate to computer science or the computer science career field. Does that mean it has to be computer science? No. It can be things that have transferable skills. So for instance, I had a student who, it was 2 days ago, he's a computer science major. He did something with the Boy Scouts. He's an Eagle Scout actually, which is the highest level of Boy Scout. And so in there, he talked about, I believe it was like team collaboration and guiding and leadership type stuff. So that kind of stuff will transfer over into the career field, okay? So we're not just looking at coding, there's a lot of other skills that they're looking at. Some myths, okay? There's only one way to write a resume. That is a myth, okay? There's lots of different ways to write a resume, okay? There are some things that you want to keep in mind that are standard, but that's very few, okay? Everybody is different. Everybody's unique, and all your experiences will be different, okay? One resume fits all jobs, and that's a myth. And what that all means is you want to tailor your resume for each job that you're applying to, okay? Even in this case, if you're preparing for the career fair, you want to tailor your resume for the career fair. And I'll show you how to do that today. Okay? And then lastly, experience counts only if it was paid. That is a big myth, okay? In computer science, what's cool about the major and what's cool about the recruiting for you guys, if you are learning software on your own or doing something on your own to learn more about computer science, that can go on your resume, especially if you're doing things on GitHub. Let's say you're just creating a website because you want to, or you're revising a website and you can put your code on GitHub. That's going to be fantastic. It doesn't matter if you're getting paid for it or not. I think yesterday one of the students mentioned she is learning it's not Java, it's another software. But she said, I have time now during this pandemic, this quarantine, to learn something. So I'm learning how to do it. So that can go on her resume. Okay. Some formatting tips, style and size. So you want to use Times New Roman, Arial, or other professional looking fonts. Okay. And what is a professional looking font, right? What is that, right? Because that's an arbitrary word, correct? I mean, I think it is. It's like when people tell me, oh, you need to be a professional at your work. Well, what does that mean? Like, is that me being serious? Is that me being warm and welcoming? Like, what does that mean, right? And so I'm going to show you what I think is a good font and why, okay? So this is Arial. And then it looks like a bunch of lines, but there's actually a capital I and lowercase l in there. It's kind of difficult to see it, right? And so now we have Times New Roman. Now you can tell right away, what is capital I and lowercase l? So for me, when I say professional looking font, I would say use a font that is easy for the other person who's reading it to recognize. The I, if you allow their eyes to relax so they can read your resume, it's gonna work out better for you, okay? Just something some food for thought. If you use Arial, that's fine. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. People can get interviews and things like that. But I always try to make sure that everything is set up to where it's easy for the other person to read it, okay? All right, and then you want to use 12-point font size down to 10-point font size. And your margins can be 1 inch to ½ an inch, okay? And the reason why there's variability is because you can change the font size and the margin sizes to try to fit everything onto one page, okay? And I'll talk about the one page here in a second. So, yeah, so here are some common sections that will go onto your resume. Okay, these are your subject headings. Objective or summary of qualifications. I usually tell my students to go with the summary of qualifications or a summary section, okay? And that's just a couple of bullet points to show, you know, maybe you want to list the software programs that you've used. Maybe like Dwan, you would want to put like president of a club, or you have leadership ability, because then you're going to talk about being a leader of the Computer Science Society, right? And so things like that. Then you got your education, internships and/or projects, experience. And notice how in experience, I don't call it work experience. Okay? You want to call it experience. And the reason why is because experience doesn't count only if it was paid. Remember that myth? So in your experience, you can put your volunteering, you can put, you know, things, maybe you did something for a month or a day or a week, you can put that in there, okay? And then you can put certifications and then co-curricular involvement, clubs and organizations. So that's where you guys can put Computer Science Society. And if you're a member, you put member. If you're part of the e-board, you'll put, you know, president, vice president, or whatever it is, right? So those are sections. And these aren't the only sections, by the way. Sometimes there'll be other sections you can put that will make your resume look better. So like, for instance, if you are part of the e-board for this club, I would not put co-curricular involvement or clubs and organizations. I would call it leadership. That's the heading I would use. Okay.
I see. So
some
it's more catchy, I would say.
What's that?
Is it more catchy if we do that, or is that a better?
Well, it is catchy, yeah. And because you want to show that you're a leader, because employers are looking for leaders. They want students who don't just, you know, they want to see proactive people. That's a big thing they look for. So yeah, it is going to be more catchy.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and if for some of you who are you know, freshmen, sophomore, juniors right now, you know, you want to think about becoming on the e-board eventually, so you can put leadership onto your resume. All right, so here's some examples of objective statements. So I'm just going to put all 3 down. So here, these are more the biological ones, but the main point I'm putting them down here is just so you can, I want to show you the construction of it, okay? So seeking internship in the field of biological research to utilize skills and educational background. So here they're just naming what they're going to go for. It can be seeking full-time position. It can be seeking occupation, whatever you want to call it. And then you name the field. So you can say seeking internship in the field of computer science, right? To utilize skills and educational background. Okay? And that one is, how do I say it? I don't want to sound smart alecky, but it's like, yeah, we would know that. Like if you are putting your resume in for a computer science type of job, then we would know that you're doing that. So it's like a useless waste of space to put that. The next one is seeking optics internship. So now you're being more specific about the type of internship. And then you name the company. So you're actually tailoring it now to new view, right? So you can put like seeking data analyst internship with Oracle, right? To contribute to teamwork, and collaboration skills. So there, if you do know the skills that they want, you can name the 2 skills. So here you're being more specific. This is something where you're selling yourself. So this is a lot better than the first one, okay? And then the last one is seeking entry-level analyst position. So you name the position and then the name of the company. You can do that, but I prefer to use the second one. And I rather go with a summary of qualifications instead. Some students put both. It's fine too. So you could have an objective and then a summary, but I think you can just do well with just a summary. And the summary is just it's about 3 to 4 bullet points about the qualifications that the company wants or the organization wants that you have. And so for instance, maybe here instead of surveying and report writing, they want, 1 to 2 years experience with coding C++. Then you would put the amount of years that you have of coding with C++, you put it there, okay? And maybe they want interpersonal communication skills, you'll put that, okay? So you're gonna put 3 to 4 of the ones that they want. And that's the first part of tailoring the resume, okay? So if you have your resume open, go ahead and erase the objective statement, put the summary of qualification heading there to remind yourself that I'm gonna put that on my resume now, okay? And like I said, if you have any questions or any comments, put it in the chat and I will reply to those, okay? All right, let me see, I'll keep track of time here. All right. Okay, then, so after we have our objective and or summary of qualification, you will have education, okay? Education should be above internships, above experience. A lot of times I have students who put their education at the bottom. The reason why you want your education higher is because the education, the degree, is what gives you permission to apply for those internships. Every job posting is going to say, must have this degree, especially for you guys, okay? And make sure you spell it out. It's going to be California State Polytechnic University in Pomona, Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, and then put the expected graduation date, okay? So if it's May 2021, May 2022, or if it's going to be December, put it in there. And if you have an emphasis, if it's machine learning or whatever it is, put it down. So good. We have some questions here. So Dwan says, does the objective statement necessary? Because I've heard some recruiters wouldn't read that part. Yeah, it's some recruiters, everybody's different, but you want to make sure that the recruiter, they have so many resumes to go through. I think the summary of qualifications lets the recruiter know that you're qualified better than an objective statement would, right? So saying something like seeking internship with Oracle to use my education, that really doesn't help, right? And then sometimes students will put a big old long paragraph for their, like literally a paragraph for their objective statement. And paragraphs are that's more of your cover letter. That's not a resume. An employer should be able to go through your resume pretty quickly and determine if you're going to be a qualified person to interview. So yeah, okay. Yeah, you're welcome. And then Eric said, when mentioning years of experience, do we only mention how many years we worked with C++ in a professional setting or years general practicing? Very good question, Eric. It's both. In school, so say you've taken a course on it for a semester, that's about what, 5 semesters? I mean, 4 months, I think it is. I think a semester is 4 months. So you go 4 months, and then maybe you've done, maybe you do it at home, you practice on the computer, or maybe you did a project, add that all together, and that's gonna accumulate. Yes, it's all of that. Everything counts. Because when you say that, they're gonna go through your resume, they're gonna read the project, they're gonna read that, oh, your education, maybe you might wanna put underneath your education some classes or courses that you've taken along with that. So you can add like related courses or courses of study, and you can put the classes where you've done C++ or Java or anything else that you want to mention. So that's a good question, Eric. Good question there. Okay, and then in education, you're only going to list, you're welcome, you're only going to list colleges or universities where you will receive or have received a degree, credential, or certificate. So if you are a transfer student and you did not get a degree from, or a credential or certificate from the junior college, you don't need to put it. You just put Cal Poly Pomona, and that's fine, okay? And then GPA should be listed if it's a 3.0, okay? Now, for you guys, this is, I mean, yeah, don't put your GPA if it's not a 3.0. I mean, you guys are in a field where they want to see a really good GPA, okay? If your GPA is below a 2.0, I mean below a 3.0, there are some opportunities, but it's not going to be as, how do I say that? Trying to think of the awesome word for it, but they won't be the best jobs. They won't be the ones that are lucrative. That's the word I wanted to use, lucrative. They're not going to be the lucrative jobs, but you can find some jobs that'll pay pretty well. But if you can get your GPA to 3.0, you have a better chance of getting these lucrative jobs. So work really hard. And you guys are in a club, so you guys should work together. So if anybody's struggling, you know, feel free to ask your club members to help out with classes and things, okay? The worst thing you can do is to try to act like you know what you're doing. One of the things that I know a few computer scientists, and a lot of times they'll tell you, what they'll tell me is that, yeah, they struggle with things, but that's why they have a team. And they work with the team to help each other and pull each other along, okay? So anyhow, so 3.0, that's my plan. Okay, so after education, you can have a project section, and it's a real simple section. So let's say in some of your classes, you did a project in your class you're working on, maybe there was an assignment where you had to do something. All you gotta do is just give it a name. It doesn't have to be a specific name. It could just be a name that describes what you're doing, okay? And so in here, it's Android media software, right? And so, and then you'll have 1 to 2 bullet points. You don't need to have a whole lot, okay? Just 1 to 2 bullet points per project. Now, how many projects should you put, right? Because I know some of us will think that. That all depends. Like if you already had an internship, so let's say you had an internship already and you had a project, you have club involvement, I would say 1 to 2 projects is fine. But let's say you're a student and you haven't had an internship yet and you really haven't had anything, then I would try to put down like 3 projects, maybe even 4 projects that are all, you know, to show your skill set, okay? So it depends what you have. But your whole goal, if you haven't had an internship yet, is to get the internship. If you had the internship, depending what year you are, you probably want to get another one. If not, you can start, if you're ready to graduate, now's the time to start looking for a job. So if you're graduating May 2021, you want to start applying for jobs, okay? So now, and another thing is I had some students where they're going to graduate and they haven't had an internship. It is okay to apply for internships. What you'll need to do is read the job postings or the internship postings and pay attention to the graduation years that they want. They will list about 3 to 4, like in a range. So they'll usually want anything from juniors all the way to upcoming seniors. So we call them up and coming seniors, meaning that you're going to graduate pretty soon. Okay, so just pay attention to that. and see. All right, is an internship 1 year round worth it or 3 months only? Is an internship 1 year round? What do you mean by that, Tuan? What do you mean? Oh, which one's better? When you mean like, oh, for a whole year, like so one internship for a whole year versus 3 months?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, most internships will not be year round. They'll usually be sometimes a month up to 3 months, and they're usually in the summer. So which is better? Either one can be. I think the whole point of an internship is, and I can do a presentation on that, but internships are really great because one, you're going to expand your network, meaning you're going to get to meet professionals and work with them, and they can write your letters of recommendation for the next position you apply to. Plus, you're going to be able to put that on your resume and show all the skills you've learned, right? And then the third thing is they'll turn into jobs. Yeah, so they will both be, yes. So I'm currently working as IT support, which is really not really related to software engineering, but yes, it still will be, yes. You would put that on your resume. Yona, you're definitely gonna put that on your resume. Because there's gonna be, remember what I said, there's gonna be transferable skills. So whether you get a year-round internship or an internship that's a week or a month or 3 months, that's gonna help, okay? It all helps. So yeah, so the more you can do, the better, right? And usually, like I said, the internships end up turning into jobs a lot of times, especially for you guys. That's usually how it works. A lot of times, I've had a few students where they've done an internship for AT&T, and then they were given an offer right at the end of summer, and they just had the issue of that they wanted to wait till the career fair, and they were giving them 2 weeks to decide. So there was issues with that, but that's a whole other ballpark. But they turn into jobs. So, yeah. Okay, then you have experience. So experience will have a little more, and this is actually a job at Garmin. So you put the name of the company first or organization, the city and state. Or if it's say at a college, you can just put like, Cal Poly Pomona if it was at a college. Then you want to put your position there. So it can be software intern, so maybe you're an intern there, or you can just put software engineer if that was your position. But so you just pay attention to that. Then you're going to put the dates of when you were there, when you worked, okay? And you want to put month and year, okay? And then this one, in your experience, you'll want to have about 3 to 4. So instead of 1 to 2 for projects, for experience, you want to have 3 to 4 bullet points because you're going to be doing a lot more stuff related to the field. And you're actually going to be in the field working. So this will be really good to do, okay? So we got like about 30 minutes and I want to get into a really important part. So before I get there, are there any questions from here? We're going to get into bullet point statements. Okay, so I'm going to go into bullet point statements now. And let's see if, yeah. All right, so I'm going to go over the bullet point statements, but I am going to send a info sheet about this section to Ashley. So Ashley, you'll be getting this after the workshop. You guys will have it. But I'm just going to go over it with you guys. And then, yeah, so this will be the most important part. Okay? I do want you to try to do this, okay? So that way we give some feedback. Because I want you guys, if you guys can do this part, your resumes you're gonna get internships. You guys are gonna get interviews, sorry, you will get interviews, okay? So here we go. So when you're creating bullet point statements, you always wanna begin with the action verb, okay? The action verb. And so you wanna pay attention to the tense you're using. So if it's present tense, which is create, or past tense, which is created, okay? Do not use the ing, creating, okay? And it's nothing to do with grammatical, grammaticals, anything about grammatical correctiveness. I can care less about English. English is a very confusing language to begin with. But the reason I say don't use ing is because when I'm around employers, recruiters, I overhear them talking and I have conversations. And a lot of times they just say, you know what, I like when students just use present tense, past tense, and they just use one of the two forms. When they start using all three and they don't use the present tense, past tense correctly, she goes, that tells me that they don't pay attention to detail or they don't know what they're doing, right? And so just use, if you're doing that skill right now currently, put it in present tense. If you've done it in the past, put it in past tense, that's all. So design or designed, okay, that's it. No ing, okay? Now, remember I told you about tailoring your resume? So what you'll want to do, yeah, you're welcome, bud. What you'll want to do is look at, so this one's for an internship position with Garmin. I pulled it off their website, I copied and pasted it. You're gonna go through and look at for action verbs. So I go through, I see design, so I'll highlight design with my marker. I'll highlight development. I'll highlight troubleshooting. I'll highlight implementing. I'll highlight communicating. I'll highlight providing, right? So I'll go through and find a whole bunch and highlight them. Once I highlight them, then I wanna make sure that in my resume that I'm using those exact action verbs, those exact ones, okay? Because that's gonna tailor it. You're showing that I have the skills that you put on your resume, okay? That's what you're gonna do. And so it doesn't mean that, like, let's say implementing software solutions. Maybe you didn't implement software solutions. Maybe you implemented something else. Maybe it was a different kind of code or something. That's okay. You can put that, you did some different kind of code. But the fact that you know how to implement, that's a transferable skill. That shows that you have a skill they want and you can transfer that over to what they're gonna do, okay? So you wanna make sure you do that. All right, now we're gonna go into the next part. Where's my cursor? So the next part here is describe precisely. And I like to use pictures to describe this one because, so we've got a pile of sand here, right? And I usually ask students, like, how interesting is this big pile of sand? Right? My 8-year-old would love this because he likes to play in the dirt. But, you know, a pile of sand, if I had to give a metaphor for a bullet point statement for a pile of sand would be created code, right? That's a pile of sand. That's a bullet point statement that looks like a pile of sand. Created code, okay? Now, describe precisely means that you're going to zoom in. So this is sand magnified 300 times. Look at how much more interesting that looks, right? So it doesn't mean that you make your bullet point longer. It just means that you want to be more specific instead of general. So you would say created, and then I don't know what kind of code you guys have, but maybe there's like, maybe you'd say created, you know, user readability code, right? So you're naming the code or whatever the code is. That is gonna say more about you than you just created code, okay? So that's what you're gonna do. So you go back to this job posting. Now that's if you've done software solutions, then you can put that implemented software solutions, put that down if you've done that. And you can even name the solution or the software, you know? Maybe you documented your work. You would put documented work in organized manner with, and maybe you used GitHub. You would say with GitHub, or documented work in GitHub instead of organized manner. You would say documented work in GitHub. So you're naming something. So you're being really specific, okay? And that's gonna help you out. Because a lot of times students will create bullet points that are vague. And so that's why I said you want to describe precisely. So don't worry about all the things you do because you're going to have a bunch of bullet points, okay? So if you have a bullet point statement that reads like responsible for providing or creating, and you have like a bunch of tasks within that bullet point statement, there's a chance you're not describing precisely. That's probably going to be like 3 to 4 bullet point statements right there, and you can create off that one. Okay. All right, and then then also you can include things inside the things that they want, the required things. So here's when you start listing these things that you have done, or maybe object-oriented design methodology. If you know that, you want to put that down. So you would use the action verb that they have in the beginning. So maybe it's like they had implemented, you would say implemented object-oriented design methodology, right? And so anyway, so there's those 2 parts. And then the third and last piece of this, and I put the hands up, is because you want to show accomplishments. So you show accomplishments by giving your reason, your result, or, so not all 3, or the method, you pick one. And you can change those up with different ones, right? And so let's give some examples here. So here's demonstrated, and these ones aren't computer science related, because I'm not good with the lingo, but hopefully when we work with your resumes and you guys have a really good one, you let me have it and I'll change the name and I can use those for examples. So hopefully we can do that one day. But, so demonstrated is the action verb, okay? And then describe precisely will be correct exercise movements for Olympic ellipse. So instead of just saying demonstrated correct exercise movements, you gave the exact type of movements that you're doing, right? And then this person gave the reason why they do it, to ensure patrons gain desired strengthening and remained injury-free, okay? So it's action verb, describe precisely, and then reason, result, or method. And in this case, it's the reason, right? There's another one. So facilitated, right? So that's the action verb they saw. And then precisely is instruction on proper nutrition for lean muscle support and reduction of fat. So they could have just said instruction on proper nutrition, that was it, but they gave the reasons, they gave more on that. And then this person decided to go with the method. They used the BMI index scores and food pyramid chart, right? So can you all see how putting these 3 parts together makes your resume stand out? So this is the most important part for you all when you're going to go to the career fair. So now the career fair, there's not going to be a job posting for the whole career fair, right? So what you'll want to do is, go onto Google. Google like industry buzzwords for computer science or industry buzzwords for software engineer. And then they'll give you some results and then start making a list of those buzzwords. And especially the action verbs. And so on your resume, make sure that those action verbs are on your resume. So that's how you're gonna do it, okay? It's such a simple thing, but for some reason people don't do it. And so take the time to tailor your resume and you're gonna get a lot more callbacks, a lot more interest. And what we're gonna have to do is work on interviewing skills. That's what I like doing, okay? So, so this is the sheet I will be handing or sending to Ashley, and you guys will be able to have that. So don't worry if you weren't able to write everything down, you shouldn't have to. You'll have a sheet that has, it explains everything and tells you. So if you don't mind, I like to do an activity with you all because I know we're virtual, but I do like to make sure that everybody walks away with a skill. So let's do this. I'm going to put in the chat. I'm going to put a bullet point statement. I'm going to make one up. And what I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and take that bullet point statement and use what I told you to make it a more effective one, okay? And so you just go ahead and put it back in the chat what you have, okay? And don't be shy about it. Don't worry about if it comes out right or wrong. It's not the point. This is a workshop, a presentation. I'm here for you guys. I'm not here to give you a grade and tell you, oh, you're not good enough or you're good enough. What I want to do is to make sure that you guys get to feel this skill out, okay? Because if you guys can do this, my job is done. You guys will be able to get careers, okay? So let me put one in there. I'll type one up. What I want to go with here. We'll go with go with. Okay, there it is. Create website navigation to make it easier for customer login. So go ahead and you guys can, you're welcome to switch it all around, do whatever you want. And you can even use different action verbs, okay? So we'll do like 3 minutes. I have 11:13, so 11:16, I'll just put it in the chat. So Jacob has his up. I'm gonna wait for everybody. I'll give everybody 3 minutes and I'll go through and read them. I'll give everybody some time here. So we got about 1 minute and 40 seconds. Yeah, user interface. That's a good one, Jacob. Okay, we got like a minute left. 1 minute. And Dwan has created website navigation to enhance customer readability. Awesome, awesome. 30 seconds. All right, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, so Eric has one too. Okay, so let's go through, I'll go through one by one here. So we got created website navigation to improve user interface. Okay, that is awesome. Now, can we be more specific about website navigation? Is there something maybe like a skill, or is there like something more specific to that that we can add? Because you guys know I don't know, so like tell me. Got a swiping feature, yeah. Created a website navigation swiping feature to improve user interface. Yeah, like that. See, like that, that's great. Yeah, so So Jacob, it's not bad. It's like, it's great. And then you want to add on to that to make it more precise, right? And then you gave a reason, right, to improve user interface, which is fine. And even with this one, you can even switch around and start with improve. You can say improved user interface by creating website navigation swiping feature, right? You can switch all this stuff around. And then Tuan, same thing with Tuan, right? We can be more precise on there and add that extra piece. Eric has implemented website navigation that allows a customer to log in reliably. I like that. Yeah, right? So an implemented website navigation that allows a customer to, yeah. So make sure when you guys are going in there to name software systems that you might be using. So I know this one was just like, you know, a generic one, right? But as you're going through making your bullet point statements, make sure when you're describing precisely, you're naming software programs, you're naming the type of code or the things you're working with. That's really going to help you on that part, okay? And it looks like you have the reason, result, or method down. You guys seem to have that down pat, okay? So let's see. All right. So let's go back to, so this is what a resume looks like. Once you get it done, so we got objective statement, summary of qualifications, right? Your degree, okay? Experiences, honors, affiliations. So this one had honors instead of clubs and organizations. So everybody's gonna be a little different, but the main thing is, see how all the headings are capitalized and bolded? They stand out, okay? I think it stands out better that way. Do not put lines in your resume, okay? You put a line in your resume to separate sections. From what I understand, a line tells the software program that reads resumes to stop. So you don't want that to happen. I had an engineering student who had a box around his resume, an actual line, and he was like, I'm not getting any callbacks. And he had a really good resume. So I just told him, hey, take this box out. Let's see what happens. And sure enough, he started getting callbacks, okay? Another thing is using bolding. You don't want to bold everything. You either bold the school or the degree, whichever one you feel is more important. Same over here. I like to bold the positions. But if some people want to bold the organization, you can. But pick one, because when you bold everything, nothing stands out, okay? Oops. So, and another thing is everything will go to the left-hand side. Push everything to the left. So see how I have the dates here to the left? They should be all to the left. Even these dates, they should be to the left, but they didn't do that, okay? And that's because we read from left to right and down. So the sooner somebody gets to your date, the quicker they can go through your resume, okay? So remember, I want your resume to be easy to read, so use a good font and make sure it's all to the left. Pretty simple, right? All right, any questions about a resume? I'm gonna go over really quickly on the cover letter part. All right, so cover letters, you're not gonna really need to turn one in, especially for the career fair. You just need to have the resume, but I just wanna go over it just for your peace of mind, all right? So you have an idea, okay? So a resume is a meaningful document. It demonstrates, you know, your ability to, how you're interested in the position, but also your qualifications. But more importantly, it measures your writing ability, and you want to tailor each resume, each cover letter, I say resume, you want to tailor each cover letter to demonstrate why you want to work for that organization. That's going to be huge, okay? They want to know that you want to be there, okay? And this one is 1 page. It's not going to be 2 pages. So your first paragraph, you're going to introduce yourself. It's like a 2-sentence paragraph. It's like, I have interest in the computer engineer position with Oracle. I saw this posting on Handshake for Cal Poly Pomona's job link website, okay? And then the second paragraph, this is where you demonstrate qualifications. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send Ashley a really good cover letter example that you guys can have. It's from an aerospace engineering student. And when he first brought it in, it was okay. It was like, eh. His second paragraph was like a laundry list of his skills. And I was like, no, you gotta tell me a story. Tell me a story about the skills that they want. And then he went and did that, and it was really good. And he ended up getting a job with Northrop Grumman. So I'll send that over to you guys. So you wanna make sure the second paragraph, you're demonstrating a skill or two by telling a story of you doing that, okay? Do not just give a laundry list of, I have nunchuck skills, I have drawing skills, I have coding skills, and then moving on. That's not gonna help, okay? Third paragraph is show interest. And this is where you let them know. And there's nothing cheesy or corny about saying that, you know, it's been a dream to work for Google. You look up to Google, Google's your favorite company. There's nothing wrong with saying that, okay? As long as you're being authentic and true about that, okay? But let them know what you think and what you feel about that organization. You can even name something from their mission statement, or if there's something that that organization does or a project that they do that you really feel strongly about, mention that, okay? And that paragraph is pretty short as well. It's probably like 5 sentences. The longest paragraph is gonna be your second one, okay? But the last one is just request an interview. And the way you do that is just like, you know, thank you for taking the time to review my resume. I hope to move forward into the interview process, or I hope to move forward in the application process. You know, thank you for your time. That's it. And then they will, you know, give you a call back. Okay, so the cover letter is just a brief, it's an introduction to who you are. That's all it is. But like I said, a lot of times, especially in your field, they're not asking for cover letters. They just want to see what your skills are. Yeah, they'll find out what you're like in an interview. They'll find out the kind of person you are in an interview. They want to know what your skills are. So, but that's just there, just in case you might need it. And I'll send you an example just in case you might need that. And this is what it looks like when you put those 4 paragraphs together along with all the other pieces. It'll look just like that, okay? And I'll send this, again, I'll send you the link. So that is all I have. So this is the hours for the Career Center. Of course, it's virtual, but you can utilize drop-in advising hours with the Career Center. And what you can do is I'm gonna put the, so if you do want to use drop-in advising hours, it's from 11 to 3, Monday through Friday. All you do is send an email to this website or to this email, attach your resume onto it, and then somebody will help you out. In addition, I have drop-in advising hours for the College of Science. And so all you'll need to do is go onto your CPP Connect account. So like when you guys meet with your academic advisors in science, you guys make appointments with them through there. I have availability within their department, and I have it for Thursdays from 2 to 4. And all you got to do is log on there, click the pick a time between 2 and 4, and I will get the notification, and I will meet with you. They're 20-minute appointments. You just go over it. So you have that option as well, and then you can go onto Handshake and make appointments with me as well, and you can do that. Handshake is on the Career Center website. So let me see if I can grab that real quick here. So it's on the Career Center website. And there's the link for the website. Can you guys see the Career Center website? Or do you just see the PowerPoint still?
I see the career, you post the, yeah, just the PowerPoint, yeah.
Okay.
So if you want, and you can switch the window on the
Yeah, I'm gonna do that right now because I have it up. I can just. So when you go to the Career Center website, right here, it says Handshake Student Login. You just click on that, and then Student Login. And it'll just ask for your Bronco username and Bronco password. That's it. And then you log in. You already have an account set up, and then you can log in. And you can make appointments on there. You can register for the career fair coming up. In fact, you need to do that. and then you upload your resume onto your account, and then that way they can access that when they meet with you. So make sure you do that. Use Handshake. And then there's also info sessions, a lot of good stuff on there. So you want to be able to use that, okay? And in fact, Juan, we can do another workshop sometime. I can go over all the Handshake capabilities and stuff for you guys too as well. And I'll include the job searching on there for you guys. So, all right. So that's all I have. Are there any questions?
I just want to say thank you so much for the presentations. It really means a lot, and it helps me with my of trying to fix my resume too. So I hope it is helpful for everyone too.
And I'm putting my email in there, so you guys can all have it. I know Ashley has it, but my email is right there in the link. Copy that. The career fair is next Thursday and Friday. You know, feel free, reach out to me. If you, for some reason, can't make it to drop in, reach out to me, send me your email. I can just look it over real quick. You know, and then if I need to sit down and meet with you, I'll tell you, hey, let's do a Zoom chat real quick. So we go over your resume. So reach out to me, because there's only like, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what is it, like 9 of you, 8 of you? So I can work with all you guys. So yeah, just reach out to me, okay? Let's get the resumes ready so you guys can stand out. Anyhow, okay, so I'm done. I will leave, I suppose. Is that fine if I go now?
All right. Yeah, thank you so much for the presentations. Thank you everyone for attending. And we'll see you on our next meeting, which is 12 o'clock, 30 minutes from now.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, so just let me know.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Bye.